Hi guys, welcome back to this weekly outlook. Let's get started. So this week we don't have too many setups. So this will be a little bit quicker than usual, but yeah, let's check this out. So first, let's start with Euro pairs. We have Euro MXN, which formed a clear downturn structure on the H4 time frame. And in this specific case, I'm just waiting for a pullback on this most recent key level for a potential trade to go short. So once price comes back on this zone, then I'll be trading downwards from here and look for a potential trade to go short on this key level. Euro USD, this was already covered in the last weekly outlook. We showed how price is in a clear uptrend, making higher highs and higher lows, continuing on its bullish trend. We had a bullish momentum breaking out of the most recent key area, which is a very good signal. We also have a zone which is in between the 61.8 and 78.6 fib levels. We also have, so here I didn't enter here because price just went straight down when it tested our zone without giving any entry indication. This was still not an entry indication, not an entry indication, and so on. Then price formed this bullish engulfing candle, which I thought it was a little bit too weak to be considered an entry indication, and it formed once again another bullish engulfing candle, which is this one here, where from where price started to go to trend higher. So at the end, price reacted. We had a very strong momentum to the upside. Still very far from the target, but I'm still holding this trade and it's still valid, I would say. So we'll see how will play out at the beginning of next week. So I hope everything is well. And anyway, and as always, just with proper risk management, uh, remember to practice proper risk management. That's all I'm saying. You don't want to risk too much on a single trade. GBP this is another trade. This is a swing trade. As you can see on the daily time frame, we tested on the zone. We were looking. We've been looking for this zone for quite a while, for actually multiple weeks. We covered already this setup on the previous outlooks, and price finally tested that zone. Also tested the 61.8, which is a very good signal, and rejected with a bearish engulfing candle exactly on the key area and exactly on the fib level. So this is a very this is a clear confirmation to go short in this specific case. And not only that, but also on the H4, you can see that price found multiple bearish engulfing candles. First one here, second one here. We also had this three candlestick pattern, which is another sign of rejection. And a bit on the lower zone, we had this bearish engulfing candle. So we definitely have multiple entry indication to go short, which is nice. The target will be this next level of support, which is this one here. So that's the logic behind this trade. Oh yeah, GBP to CHF short. GBP and ZD, this again, this also was covered on last weekly outlook. We had pretty much a sort of head and shoulders formation with left shoulder, head, and this neckline level of support or resistance where price retested. So price retested and rejected on the zone with a bearish engulfing candle. I'm not in this trade. I'm only in this previous trade, but if price doesn't, it depends on how price will form the gap. There's a chance that price will gap because recently the gaps have been quite frequent at the beginning of the week. So we'll see how price opens, but I might consider a trade to go short in this scenario after market open, when the spreads calm down. I will see. We want to check we have uh, whether we have a gap or not, which will change the strategy in this case. GBP USD, we have H1. The only thing is I see this very slow downtrend structure, and now we already broke out of this previous high, forming a new high. So I'm just looking for this uh, potential inverse head and shoulders to form for a trade to go long. So pretty much an inversion setup from this after this downtrend, let's say. So I hope, yeah. So let's see how this plays out. USD CHF, we have an H4. Yeah, actually, this is not really a setup. This is a setup we covered in the last weekly outlook, but we didn't have any entry indication. This is an example of why you should wait for the entry indication because, for example, here, price just straight broke out of the zone without making any sign of rejection. You can see also on the H1. On the H1, you can see we only have a straight bullish candle uh, breaking out of the zone. So this invalidates the setup we were looking for, and it makes us avoid taking another additional stop loss because knowing that price broke out of the zone and did a reject on the zone, it's a way to understand whether we have to enter a trade or not, and whether we have an entry indication which is on the candlestick and not only on the trend. So as always, wait for the entry indication. USD SGD. This was covered on the last weekly outlook. Sorry, guys. This was covered on the last weekly outlook. We had this level of support resistance that was tested here and rejected. This was potentially a buy trade that could have got you out with a stop loss. But now price rejected from the 78.6 and also broke out of this low. So this can be considered as a bearish confirmation when it comes to trend analysis. So we have also this kind of head and shoulders sort of formation where we have left shoulder, head, and potentially a retest area. So I might be considering a trade to go short and market open, depending on how price will behave at the open and whether we have a price gap. So I'm just waiting for this one. UDCHF, this is a swing trade. We have a downtrend on the daily time frame, which is quite aggressive, a quite aggressive downtrend. We have this very strong momentum to the upside. Now price is pulling back, making slowly new higher highs and higher lows on the smaller time frames. So I'm just looking for price to pull back on this key area of support and resistance, and then wait for an entry indication to go short. And that's pretty much it on AUD/CHF. AUD and ZD, we tested the level we were looking for and also rejected, which is quite nice. So up straight to go short can be considered on this retest. So and the only thing I would like to see that I want to see price break out of this low here. So I think this with a candle closure below this low will be a potential trade to go short. I want to see a candle closure as a confirmation that the smaller time frame trend is turning from bullish to bearish. That's the logic behind this confirmation. SPX 500. I called out a trade from this level, but price just barely touched, so I don't consider this a valid trade as it was very close, but it did not touch that zone, so it makes the setup not valid. Nasdaq, we had uptrend, clear uptrend, high highs and high lows. Didn't manage to retest here on the first breaker retest, but now we found another up pattern where we have this strong level of support or resistance, broken with very fast momentum, strong bullish candles. Slow here we have slow prices, potentially pulling back on the zone. And if we have a rejection on this level, we could have a potential trade to go long. UK oil, we have a potential head and shoulders, a bit aggressive, I would say, but we do have a what makes this setup at least good, let's say, even though it's aggressive, is the fact that price broke below this previous low that made the previous high. So by breaking below this low, it started to confirm, uh, let's say, a downtrend momentum. So if price pulls back on this key area, then I'll be considering a trade to go short. Otherwise, I will still say uh, if price rejects from here, which is slightly above where price is now, I will still consider a trade to go short. So anything in between this area will be a potential zone to take a trade to go short in this case. US oil, still the same setup. This is long term, very long term, daily time frame. We have a level here, so I'm just still waiting for this pullback in order to take a short on US oil. Silver, this was covered on previous sessions. Uh, this week, price hit the target based on this trade we covered on the last weekly outlook, but there's not really much to add besides the fact that price now it's in a consolidation zone, so it's not really making any effort to continue the trend, and it's quite slow. It dropped quite slow to the take profit zone, so it's definitely a at the moment a choppy market, a sideways market, and you always want to avoid trading this kind of markets. Gold, we got stopped out at break even here, so we know we didn't make any new all-time highs on gold, but instead we just pull back a little bit more. This level where price tested and rejected can be considered a valid, could be considered probably a valid trade. I just didn't take it, but it's much better to still wait for another indication after price starts trending higher. Like if we have something like this happening, this will be a potential trade to go long. But until then, I wouldn't really consider taking a trade on gold at the moment unless something like this happen. So yeah, that's pretty much all the trades I wanted to cover for this week. Yeah, they're not that many. Uh, at the moment, but I that uh, hope that we have some potential good setups this week. I understand that a few of these trades are swing, but it's important to be patient and only take the high quality trades. So it's okay to wait and not take trades some days because it's part of the game. And what matters is not really making profits, is preserve your capital and then slowly grow it. That's that's the approach. Um, so before trying to make money, you want to make sure you don't lose money. That's the idea. All right, guys, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover. Hope you guys understood something new. I hope that you guys can take some trades based on these ideas. So we have a question from Shay. Hello, what platform do you trade on? I trade on IC Markets, which is a Australian broker. I'm from Europe, so I can trade on that broker platform. I trade on MT5, MetaTrader 5, as I'm from Europe. And I also trade on other brokers, which are prop firm brokers. Like, for example, I trade on the FTMO broker, on Funded Next broker, basically. And also I trade on E8 uh, broker. So that's for the prop firms. But for personal account, I trade on IC markets. Another great broker is FP markets. I don't know if those are available in your country, but make sure you make your research. If they're not available, I think you shouldn't be able to access the site actually. But yeah, any trading platform is fine. What matters is that you have a good broker with good spread, regulated broker where you can make safely make withdrawals. That's what matters for trading platforms, at least for CFD. For futures is a whole other different story. Can you add back on Discord? Sure. Did you send me uh the friend request? Let me check. Yeah. Yeah, I'm adding you. All right. I added you on Discord. I just said hi. Uh, I'm Andre. Okay. So yeah, of course, also if you guys have any question, always feel free to message me on Discord, and I'll be happy to help you with your trading journey. All right. I'll talk to you guys on the next weekly outlook. Bye bye.